today it's pasta day. So welcome to my kitchen. I'm Philly, and my son Matt is joining me in this endeavor, and we are going to be attempting to make homemade orecchiette today.
Yep.
And I showed him the video that I've been watching on repeat.
I'm a little intimidated.
He's a little intimidated. And it's not that I'm not, but I've just watched it.
No. It's just, so if you see the video, it's like this lady who, I mean, very clearly has been doing it. Yeah, has been doing it for
since she
many
was 8
years.
years old, probably.
And she just, her technique, I think, is so smooth and so fast that it kind of just happens. So maybe it'll just happen for
Hopefully.
us, but I assume it'll probably take some trial and error. So.
But seeing as, no, we've made pasta before. We've made homemade pasta before,
Yep.
but we've never made orecchiette
with machines.
with machines. We've never
well, I guess we've done like gnocchi and stuff, so.
Correct. You're right. We have done gnocchi.
But I think gnocchi is a bit more simplistic in its design.
I would agree. And I've always said gnocchi is a very approachable first pasta to make if someone's interested, especially the ricotta gnocchi.
Yep.
But I think this will be a good challenge for us. And what I'm hoping to do is, again, we've never done this. This is what we have done so far in pasta. We've made fettuccine, linguine, and of course, I've made spitzel. And then gnocchi. And so now we're going to try a hand-formed smaller pasta. And orecchiette, for those of you who don't know, it is called little ears because it literally looks like little ears. It's round, but it kind of pushes out almost like an outward-facing belly button or something. And but it captures the dough, and the dough is a little bit. It's not as smooth a dough as like typical for linguine and fettuccine. So it has more texture, which I love. I'm team texture with pasta. Yep. So I think it's really going to be good, and then we'll tell you about the sauce we're making. We'll be making the sauce while the dough is resting, and then we'll start forming the pasta, and we'll put it together. So, and this is going to be our meal today.
Should we have the meat for the pasta out so it starts to come to room temperature? Or?
No, that doesn't need to, because it's just going to be browned. Yes, we are having a meat sauce. And everything is linked below, including our dough recipe, which I'm going to get started. So, hi, Barbara. Welcome to the stream. So, Barbara's one of my regulars that comes on, and I know you've seen Matt before. But we're using the pasta recipe from Mark Vetri, which is one of the iconic, esteemed chefs here in the city of Philadelphia, and we made the pizza dough from his book Mastering Pizza.
Yep.
And this one's called either Making Pasta or Mastering Pasta. So I did put that on my Kindle, and that's where I got the recipe. So down below you'll see the measurements by cups, but also the measurements by weight. And that's what we're going to use because we have it.
You should always, if you have measurements by weight, you should always do measurements by weight.
Absolutely.
Far more accurate.
And we are going to have the help of my KitchenAid in the mixing of the dough and the kneading of the dough. There will be some kneading we'll do afterwards, but, and if you don't have it, you can do this all by hand. But a lot of us, I don't know if everyone does, but a lot of people have like a sturdy stand mixer, and it does have a dough hook. So I'm going to use it because, as you've seen from my recipes, especially my grandma's recipes, I try to use technology when I can just to help. Yep. So let's begin. And who else? Edith. Hey, Edith. Welcome to the stream. Edith, I don't know if you've met my son Matt before.
I think
you did.
I've been here.
But I have 50 brains, so I forget these things. But in any event, so you are so good at weight measure. So we are going to need.
I am.
You are. So we are going to need it in grams and then milliliters. Okay. So do you want to do get the water first?
Sure.
Okay.
What do we need?
That kind of was throwing me that the water was in milliliters and the other thing was in grams because I was
so the reason is because milliliters directly correlates to grams.
Okay, because like when I make bread, it's all grams.
Yep. No, but so for any water measurement, like milliliters directly equates to grams, and kilograms would directly relate to liters. So
that's fair. That's fair. So why don't we do this? Why don't we? So we're just gonna put.
But we could also just measure on there, so that works too.
Right.
I haven't washed my hands, so.
Yeah, I'd already washed mine, so I'm good to go. Well, actually, I think we can put the dough in first. So we're going to make sure this is on grams, and it is not. So so now it's on grams, and you just kind of, if you're using your weight measure, you press it till it has the grams, and then you want to make this go away. So you press, for us, it's the on-off button to make that go away. And I'm using, it's hard actually to find just semolina flour. And Matt was actually curious. He's like, oh, we're using this kind of flour. Semolina is a coarser flour, see?
Yep.
And for orecchiette dough, that is definitely preferred. But it's in a lot of pastas.
Yep. Doesn't look as
actually.
like bleached as a normal
Absolutely.
flour either. Has more of a yellow kind of.
So do you want to do this one and I'll do the what? What do you want to do? It's up to you. Want to do this? So we're looking for 335 grams of semolina.
335.
Yeah, and this will make a pound of pasta. And again, everything is down below. And I cited the book, so I don't get in trouble, where it was from 335.
That is a 3. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
335. I know, my sloppy writing. So how are you guys today? Oh, Eugenia, wonderful. Welcome to our pasta making stream today. We're making orecchiette. So do y'all like orecchiette? I love the texture. So how does everyone feel? And what sauce do you usually make with your orecchiette if you do enjoy it? I would love to know that. I'm getting close.
So I'm just
We're at
trying to slow it down.
322. Absolutely. And if you want a spoon, I could always get you a spoon.
Got this
But use
grips
mine.
pretty well.
Try not to touch my face with my hands.
Yeah.
Of course, once you have your hands washed back, I always wash them again. It's like you just feel like everything itches on your face. So Eugenia says, I'm going to have to leave and come back. My friend, my feed is wonky. Absolutely. Sorry about that, and do come back. There we go. And it probably 334 would probably be fine.
I don't know. That could ruin the recipe.
He's a little bit specific.
It's actually a bit of a fault of mine when it comes to cooking. Realistically, it could be an OCD thing. I'm not sure, but I despite cooking not having to be a perfect art, I kind of make it a perfect art. So I get a bit specific.
So we're going to change that milliliters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to, you want me to do the water or you want to do the water?
You're holding it.
Okay, so I'm doing, yes, it's the harder one. 117 milliliters. Now you could do this on a surface and, oh, there we go, getting close. I'm at 109, 113, 119, I'm a little over. I'm a little over.
You gotta scrap it, sort of.
I'm a little over. So now what we're gonna do, I could give it a rough mix, but I'm gonna just, actually, you know what? I am gonna give it a rough mix, only because I know sometimes the stuff gets stuck on the bottom. And then we're gonna let the machine do the work. So I'm giving it a rough mix. And they did say to use warm water, so I did use warm water. And do you want to bring the camera over to where the KitchenAid is? And we'll go from there. Let me put this back. So I'm just going to get so if you're using a stand mixer, first put your regular paddle attachment in to start, and then we'll be moving to the other attachment. There we go. So you can give it a bird's eye view here. All right, so I'm going to start on the first speed just for a minute or two to let things kind of further come together. Now, one thing we know about water and dough is if this is not coming together, we'll add a little bit more water. So I do want to, and it's looking awfully dry, so I'm going to bring my dough over. And we know in winter, things tend to be a little drier. So that's where the non-exact science. So I'm going to have this go a little sooner, and you can see it's really not coming together. We want to see it coming together a little more than that. So I'm going to back this down a little bit and just add by a little bit at a time. Because sometimes it takes the littlest amount to start it to work together. And I might turn it up just a little bit. Because once it gets shaggy, then we will switch the attachment. And you see, it is sucking up this water. But if you notice, the clumps are getting a little bigger. So we want this just to come together. We need this moistened enough, but not too much, if that makes sense. Ooh, it's getting close. Let me just see what
Yeah,
happens
that's
here.
starting to
Yeah, I'm just
come
gonna
together
wait
a
a
bit.
second.
Also, Archie, welcome in.
Oh, welcome, Archie. Okay. Ooh, I like the way it looks. Okay, so I'm gonna stop now because it is getting together, and you can see it's not sticky. I don't know if you can see that. Now, if this doesn't eventually come together, I can always add just a touch more water, but we're looking good. So now I'm going to put in the dough hook.
Oh, sorry.
What's that?
I was about to walk back to put it back on the tripod.
Yeah, no, because we got to do this a little bit.
Yep, of course.
And we're going to first start it on the first one. And then we're going to raise it, and we're going to try to get this to come together to form a smooth dough. And so I'm just watching to see if it'll come together, if I need to add more water or not. So you can, and if you want, do you see what's happening? It's kind of like approaching it, and then there we go. So we got a little something going on there. And that's why you really want to wait and let the machine do its work. So we're going to let this go for about a minute, and then we're going to do a little kneading at the countertop, which I cleaned really well. But isn't that amazing how it was looking pretty shaggy?
Yep, that is
but it really did come together.
Yep.
So we're just going to let this go for a little bit. But what's nice about if you have a stand mixer is it really does the work. And do you remember when we made the pasta the last time, and we actually used a food processor? Do you remember that? So you could also use a food processor to do the work. But it's coming together in a nice ball there.
So Archie says, not entirely sure or happy about the fluorescent pink spatula. It is. It's very pink.
Lovely.
I will
Magenta.
say, despite being very vibrant, they do work pretty well.
They do work well. The
much,
silicone
much
ones.
better than my set, to be honest.
Absolutely. And I got this on Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. All right. So I think we're good. Oh, I unlocked it. Whoa!
Whoa!
Whoopsie. You know what? It wouldn't be a Philly stream if there wasn't a little malfunction, and that was my malfunction. So then what we've got is, look at this. It's really gotten pretty smooth. Touch it so you washed your hands. Pretty smooth.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to do a little more kneading. So let's come over. I'm going to leave my water here. Let's come over and move this out of the way. And again, that's the semolina flour that we're using for this recipe. All right. Now, I don't think we're going to need any. I don't think we're going to need anything to put down here because it's
right.
really
It's been a nice
pretty
stream,
good.
guys. I'm going to head out.
So all I'm going to do is and I want you to do some of this because this is something you're not as familiar with, as you kind of wrap that side over and then you push it.
Yep.
You wrap and push it. There we go. And so you want to try this a couple times. I don't know, do it like maybe 10 times, and let's see how it feels. Give it a try. So you push it away from you, yep, and then push it away from you. Excellent. I feel like we're doing Play-Doh. One of the things I love about cooking is the fact that it's very tactile. And I mean, if you look at it from one viewpoint, it's fun. And I don't know if you all heard the beginning. I know that Barbara heard, but little one here is a bit anxious how we're going to make these orecchiette.
Yeah. So you said we're going to try some different knives.
Yes, so I have quite a few different knives for us to try.
Was hers a sharp edge or was it serrated?
It didn't look serrated to me. It looked like
I
a
didn't
sharp
think
edge.
it was,
Yeah, so
so.
I can't use a serrated knife. And hers looked pretty thin. So a couple of the knives I have, I wonder if they're going to be too thick.
All right,
So
I'll
we're just going to
go
have to
back
see. Ooh, nice work. So what we're just looking for, and this should be fine because now we're going to let it rest, is we want it to just be smooth. And this is nice. Let's see here. One more. All right, so we're going to take this dough. Let me just show it to you right now. Look how pretty. I mean, it's pretty nice dough. And we're going to put it on this plate, and I'm going to let it rest while we make the sauce, and then we will form the pasta.
Yeah, Archie, I was able to get some of my pent out
this-
stress from the week out on that dough. Very meditative.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to dampen this with our warm water. Get it nice and damp so the dough doesn't dry out. And just give it a cover. And I'm going to put it in my favorite spot, which as you all know is my microwave. So we're just going to do that. There we go. Let that sit tight there. So the first part done, let me wash and get that off. So next step is making the sauce. So let me just check on the chat real quick and see what I missed. While we were dough making, I know Maddie was looking at some of the chat, but let's just see what we've missed so far.
Oh, you know what? I was about to make a recommendation, but I realized that. So what I was about to say is, so a little behind the scenes stuff, which I'm sure you can get the gist of. So whenever she goes to read the comments, she goes up to her computer that she has the live stream up on. And so I usually will just like read it off my phone. I was about to suggest, why don't you just use your phone? But then I realized
my phone's there.
that would be a little bit difficult to read and film at the same time.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, you wouldn't see me much,
scrap
and I
that.
wouldn't be able to cook anything.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that would kind of scrap the whole idea.
Forget I said anything.
Absolutely.
She obviously has thought about this more than I have.
So I'm enjoying this whole food revolution and pink conversation. By the way, first of all, thank you all for coming to this stream. And for anyone watching from behind the scenes, not wanting to chat, I just appreciate you coming to check things out. And even if you're just popping in for a little bit. Oh, I also feel the need to say, because I've been getting a couple comments lately, that this is a live stream. One of the reasons on my titles now I'm putting live cooking is so that anyone popping in on the video later realizes this is a live session. This has not been edited.
Yep.
So it is long.
Yep.
And but one thing I hope to do in the new year is add more timestamps to my videos. I've not done that with all of them, but I really, that's my goal at least.
Yep. And those are, it's a nice way of making it a bit more efficient for people watching back.
They're looking for specific
VOD,
parts
so,
of it.
Yep.
So, but it is a bit long. So if you're joining us, this is not like a quick 5-minute time. This is live time. This is
Strap
like,
in.
Yeah, it's like real time cooking, right? So,
Yeah.
but we made that pasta pretty quick. So now it's resting. So let me tell you about the sauce. So we were going to do, there's a sauce he's been wanting to eat that I've made. It was my version of a pepperonata sauce. And what he liked is I blended the ingredients, which took away the texture issues that he would have with the said ingredients. And it was very delicious. I added some chicken sausage that had been browned. But his birthday's coming up, and so he kind of wanted that for his birthday. So
it looks, I mean, if you've seen the short, it looks really freaking good.
Yeah, I'll put the short later. It's not here now, but
yeah.
I'll put it down below in case anyone seeing this later wants to see it, could see the short.
Yep.
It's really delicious, so easy to make. So I was trying to find a different sauce so that we can save that because his birthday's coming up. And I found this one that actually Mark Vetri, who the pasta dough recipe is from, he actually said he felt like this sauce was the perfect vehicle to use on Orecchiette. Or the Orecchiette were the perfect vehicle for the sauce. And this sauce is, the original sauce is Orecchiette with veal, capers, and wine. It's from Food and Wine. And it literally just popped up this morning on Instagram to see, and I was like, ooh, that looks good. I'm not going to be using veal today. I'm going to be using just regular old ground beef, and I think we got a leaner one.
It's a 90-10.
90-10 because, we're going to be using olive oil. We're going to be using butter at the end.
We don't need all the extra fat.
We don't need the extra fat.
Yep.
We're not making burgers, or meatloaf or anything else where we could use it. So in this recipe, which is down below, the link is below, it's going to involve extra virgin olive oil, onion and garlic, which we're going to start chopping, some veal or ground beef or turkey, and then some dry white wine, which we're going to substitute something for also that I have on hand that's small, chicken stock, fresh thyme, rosemary, which was also my inspiration because I actually had some in the fridge already.
Yep.
Capers, which he's a little bit not happy about, but we'll talk about that, and Parmesan cheese and butter. So, but I will tell you, in the recipe, they rinse the capers, which will help take some of the sauce. And there's not a ton of them in there compared to everything else. But you need to decide if you want me to chop them or leave them whole.
Okay.
So you decide that. I'll do whichever. So first, let's get to chopping.
Also, Archie says, editing software is the devil's creation, which obviously she already knows. But as somebody who has also used video editors for a pretty significant portion of my life, it doesn't get better the more you know. So I feel like as you learn more in the editing software, you just discover more of the bloat and crap that's also in it, and the Yeah, it's
So
a never-ending battle.
I'm putting you to work over here, babe.
Okay.
Because I have another sous chef. So what I need you to do is to get our herbs ready. So the easier one to do is here. All we need is a half teaspoon of rosemary. So what you do is you're just going to strip this off, pull these off, and then chop them finely.
Yep.
And then just set that aside. Then you're going to do the same with thyme, but there's a little bit of my thyme has some brown leaves. Try to avoid those. You're probably going to need all of this to chop because you're going to need a full teaspoon of the chopped thyme.
Yep.
Okay. So there's that. And then I'm going to work at chopping the onion and chopping my garlic. So I'm going to start with my garlic. It says only
You're
one
getting
garlic
to
clove.
chop those. I like-
Only one garlic clove. I was a little. Oh, that one's not even. That like is like a ghost. So I was a little sad. So hopefully my garlic's okay. Oh dear. Oh, and I was. No, it
fine.
isn't. It is like powdery. I don't think any of it's worth. That one's okay. Okay, that one's fine. A couple of them has that happened? I mean, I'm sure this is. Oh man. I think that one's okay.
I think we only need one. Right?
Wow, I know, but I'm going to cut off that little end. Like, it's like ghost. So I know it's not fresh, but usually garlic lasts a while. My goodness. Yeah, the rest are done. Okay, well, luckily we have two. You know, I always have my garlic paste if I need it. I love my garlic paste, but I was actually going to chop it. Like, look at me. Sunday. I always feel like Sundays you can, I don't know, you can cook more, you can not do the shortcuts, right? Take the time.
So is this all we need?
Yeah, we'll probably need less than that, but just cut it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That way we have it. And that's a brand new knife. Aunt Nancy got me another one of those. Alrighty, so Archie, I know you've had dinner. What did you have for dinner today, my friend? Or tonight? This night? What am I trying to say? And I'm going to get this garlic chopped. Let me see here. And then I'm going to chop the onion finely. And you have an interesting relationship with onion, don't you?
Well, so I think it's probably come up several times, but I was quite a picky eater growing up, and I mean, to some degree, still kind of am. But I've always enjoyed the flavor that onions incorporated, but for a while, I wasn't the biggest fan of the texture, and particularly. Why am I totally blanking on the preparation method that bugs me?
The preparation method. Fried onion rings?
Yeah, no.
No?
Like not like deep fried onions, but just like pan fried.
Okay.
I guess. Is that what I'm going for? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like,
But
okay. It's
but-
just cooked onions in general. You
yeah,
didn't really like cooked onions.
because I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like they kind of get slimy. I don't know really how to describe it. It's
Of course,
a texture thing.
if they're fried, they get
It's
crispy.
a texture thing. Yes, and I prefer onions in a crispy form. So whether that is raw, where they have the crunch, or fried, where they have a crunch for a different reason.
Yep.
But what I've found is I also don't really mind onions if they are pretty finely chopped. So
that's what I'm going to attempt to do
Yeah.
today.
I could also do it. Because of the fact that I have to.
Oh my gosh, that was he did such a lovely chop of the
You said- you said the
rosemary.
chop.
But look at this fella.
I've been trying to improve my knife skills.
Did
So.
a lovely fine chop of that. Excellent. Would you like to, since you're fussy, would you like to be the one that chops the
would not
onion?
mind.
Alrighty. Let me just take this off
Yep.
and you have at it.
All right.
So it says a medium onion, so that's fine. And I know he's not super oniony.
Oh, this is a larger knife than I have.
Well, you don't have to use it. I like that.
No.
I like having-
It's just I have to get used to the scale of it.
Are you sure you're good with it?
Yeah, I'll be
Okay.
fine.
So I'm going to scooch those lovely, finely chopped rosemary and get my thyme out. So I'm just going to strip these thyme ones. The tops are always super tender. It's just the bottom that you kind of have to strip off. And I've got to, it's not the freshest thyme, so I do have to watch some of these older parts at the bottom. So anyway, so Art, did you let us know what you're having? Let's see here. I've never, so let me see here. Eugenia says she loves capers. And Archie said there's a huge debate about the advantages of fresh herbs versus dried herbs. I like fresh, but I've heard pro chefs say there's no difference. Absolutely. And Arch, you know, I've cooked with both a lot, and you know, it's so hard because the power of suggestion, it's hard to know if like you really think they're better or if it's just that you know that you're using fresh that you think they're better. I feel like personally in my experience, especially with basil, first of all, I don't think basil is even compares when it is, you know, dried. It just to me does not have that freshness of flavor. Mint also. So I feel like with the more tender herbs, in my opinion, there is no question. And I do think with some of these woodier ones, like rosemary and thyme, I think you can get great flavor from the dried. However, I do really still tend to, I enjoy the fresh herb flavor. But certainly, if you can't get them or you don't have them, and don't let that prevent you from making this or any recipe. Just use what you got. I mean, I'm a firm believer of use what you got. I think we need to stop worrying about, and this is hard from someone that is very much a rule follower. We have to stop worrying about like following all the rules and kind of know that in most cooking, not baking maybe, but in most cooking, there's a lot of flexibility. And what do you all think? What do you guys think about fresh versus dried? I'd love to know what the crowd thinks. But that was a great point to bring up, Archie. Thank you. I think that was an awesome conversation starter. Let me see here. Get that tidied up. Yes, there was, I just saw, I'm sorry, let me go back to, you made fall apart slow roast lamb. Oh my goodness, Archie. I have not had lamb since last spring, I think.
I don't know the last time I've had lamb.
It's been a hot minute. So that sounds absolutely delicious. And I'm sure yours was absolutely delicious. How's the onion going? You're doing a great job. Look at him.
We're good.
So impressed. I love that you love to cook.
Yep. Again, I've been trying to improve my cutting skills because as somebody who likes to cook throughout the week, I don't like it taking up a ton of my time. And the best way to not take up as much time is to get faster at it. So
that's true. And honestly, it's funny when the person was making the comment about how long the video was. First of all, I am crunched for time a lot of times also. So I totally get it. But one of the things I like about live cooking, and it's why I like some of the cooking shows that have live cooking, is, you know, you see a video sometimes that takes 10 minutes, and then you're in the kitchen for an hour, and you're like, whoa, I didn't expect this to take so long. So sometimes I think it's really good to see that, you know, things can take a while, and that's okay. And I like to find meditation in it, the fact of the cooking, you know, of just enjoying the time. So I think that's going to be we won't need this rosemary over here, but that's going to, maybe a little more. There we go. All right, so we're good. So we've got our chopped onion, our chopped garlic, we've got our thyme and rosemary. I'm going to keep the other one covered just to show. And now what we're going to do is we're going to soften our onion and garlic in some extra virgin olive oil on the stove. So let me get this pan going. I should have gotten the pan going ahead of time, but let's check the chat while that's getting heated up.
Oh, I don't. Sorry, you can.
No, I'm just looking at the herbs. So the herbs is, he says, and Eugenia did say the lamb you posted looked absolutely succulent, Archie. I wouldn't expect any less. And then Archie said, I think it's herb dependent. Yes, I agree with you. Fresh basil is unrivaled. I agree. And parsley. I agree with parsley too. Any of those tender, cilantro, like any mint, cilantro, parsley, basil. I feel like all those there's no question. But dry thyme is great. And freeze-dried tarragon is better. That's wonderful to know. I didn't know that. I also think chives. Chives are another tender herb that I think is so much, there's no question. And there is no substitute for fresh cilantro. I agree. And Archie says lamb is our favorite. And Eugenia says thyme and tarragon both grow by my front door. You're lucky. I love it. I wish I was next door to you, Eugenia. And Archie said, I've never been greatly impressed with fresh tarragon, but I adore the dried form. I do have dried tarragon. And I think I always wondered that. So I think I was always like, oh, I don't have the fresh, so I should not do that recipe. But I do have dried, so that's good to know, Arch. And Eugenia says, I need to get a rosemary bush established. Yes, so it's funny. I love rosemary, and when I had an outside herb garden, my rosemary flourished. But I've had trouble keeping rosemary alive and healthy inside. I feel like for an inside garden, it's super fussy on the watering and on how it likes to dry out before the next water. And I find it really difficult hitting that good medium. Thyme is really easy to keep alive inside, and a lot of the other herbs are easy. But rosemary has been super fussy with me. So we're going to put some extra virgin olive oil. There's not going to be much to see right now, so I will take you back to this pan once we get the meat in. But we're going to get a couple tablespoons of.
Right?
Oh, you can get the meat out, actually.
I was going to say start with the onions.
Yeah, we are going to start. And if you
Because
want
we
to
don't want our garlic to burn.
Yes, and if you want to get the meat out and I'm going to put this to medium because we just want them to sweat. I was just trying to get it heated up quick. And they're going in together so the garlic won't burn. So there you go. Yeah.
That'll do too.
So they're going in together. That helps protect our garlic from cooking too fast. And we're going to get that going. So can you just put that over on the other side?
What?
The
Board?
yes, out of the way.
Okay.
And I'm going to turn this down because we kind of want this to saute, but more sweat, so I don't want it too high, so I'm turning down my heat. So we're going to let this soften, and let's get the meat open. I'm going to get you some scissors. There you go. You can get that opened up. I'm going to get a baggie for the
So where should I open
onion.
it up? Because it's going to probably...
how about over here? You can open it right over here behind you.
You don't mind if the juice gets over there?
Over there, we can clean it up.
Right.
I'd rather not be here because this is where we're going to be making the pasta. You can try. So I don't know if y'all have those packages that say you can peel it off.
I don't think-
Sometimes they can, and sometimes
Does
they
it
can't.
say this?
I
I
don't
don't
know. Does
think
it
so.
say? They'll have tabs, and I'm like, it does not always work.
I don't think so.
So let's get the onion put away. And I'm trying to think if we're going to need, I don't think we're going to need the cutting board. I think one thing I'm going to get ready while he's doing that, and then is get our stock. So I'm going to use my Better Than Bouillon, which works well. And I already have my cup here that I used with my water. So I'm going to get 1.5 cups. Let me see, it's a little high. And I'm just going to put 1.5 teaspoons of this Better Than Bouillon and get that at least, it won't be all the way mixed, but get it, coming apart a little bit at least. Let's see here. And I need a little knife to get that out. Feel free to tell me what I'm missing if you notice
No
something.
pink scissors.
No pink scissors?
Yeah.
Oh, Eugenia, if you ever find some rainbow scissors, will you let me know? That would be wonderful. I would love it. Now I'm going to get a half of one. There we go. Check on the onions. Let me know how they're doing with the garlic, sweetie. There we go. So I'm just going to get this stirred. I'm not worried about this getting, all dissolved because it's going to do its thing in the pan. That's one of the things I love about it is, depending upon what your use is for the recipe, it doesn't have to be all ready to go because it'll happen in the pan with the heat. So that's my broth. And then instead of, I have these little things, as you know, of Prosecco. So I got one ready to use for this. So Prosecco is it's not quite as dry a white wine as I would usually have, but it'll work in a pinch. And it'll have the kind of that brininess from the capers, so I think it'll be just fine. And we're going to use a half cup of that. So let me get
Oh,
half
that's what
cup
you're
measure.
doing.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Because even then, how I have my little hack of having dry vermouth? Well, I didn't have that. I forgot I was out of that. So Now, these look pretty softened.
Yep.
I think they look good. So
They
now we're going to
sweat.
be adding, I'm going to bring, do you want me to bring it over and you do the beef?
What?
Because we're going to brown the beef now. We're going to
Bring
turn
what
on
over?
high. I'll bring the camera, or do you want, you tell me
I'll
what.
bring the camera.
Okay.
I got you.
All right, so I'm going to add the beef, and we're going to turn the heat up and get this browned. All right, so we're going to get this heat back up and get this spread out. So I told them all about how you got me the burner that I should be using right
Yeah.
now, except I have procrastinated in fixing the outlet doesn't work, and
Oh, that's right.
my youngest gets his procrastination from his mama, so it comes by him honestly. So yeah, how about them apples, right?
Yeah,
Now
it's funny. I've noticed that you haven't used it. I was wondering what the reason was. So.
the seasoning with some salt and pepper. And then I'm going to get my little avocado masher to help break up the meat. And, I've been seeing in videos lately a lot of people that have, I think it's actually considered like a, what do you call it? Like a meat masher or something. It's shaped almost like a plus sign on the bottom and helps break apart ground meats, whether it's turkey, chicken, veal, beef, lamb, but this does just fine, and then I can use it for making guacamole too.
By the way, Archie on that topic said I bought an acrylic masher for crushing ground beef in the pan.
Yes, and this is not acrylic, so I'm just being careful not to scratch. Because you're right, it would be best if this was acrylic, but see how nice that does? It just gets it all set. So we're going to brown this on high, and you stay there. Let me just check the recipe real quick. And then we are going to add our white wine and reduce it. So we're going to let this go. All right, so let me see. You can actually even move it here if you want. I just want to see like what everyone's saying. So dried tarragon is more aromatic. I did not know that. That's awesome. Archie, the hostility towards my color issues has been noted. Oh, Eugenia. So, and this is for Barbara and Edith and Archie too. But seeing as you're bringing up the color thing, and would you mind just kind of doing that while I'm chit-chatting for a second?
I can use this spoon right now?
Yes. So I had, I don't know, 7 years ago, I had LASIK. I was in glasses since I was in 4th grade, and I mean, they were so thick. I didn't know I'd get the thinnest lenses, very thick glasses. So I got LASIK about 7 or 8 years ago, and it was life-changing. I mean, I used to have to wake up and put my glasses on just to exist out of bed, right?
Which is what I have to do.
So it was the best thing I ever did, but it's starting to go. Now I need glasses for reading, which is, they said, that's not going to change the aging, needing glasses for reading thing, but I'm noticing my distance. So when I went to the eye doctor, yes, I have a small prescription. So I went to get my glasses, and I was trying on all these frames, by the way, that I use for my readers, and I just didn't like them in the regular glasses, which makes no sense. So my frames have a little bit of rose in them, Archie and Eugenia. So I thought you'd find it interesting. So they will be ready in a couple weeks. So I will share them once they're all set.
Starting to get close.
Yes, no rose-colored glasses for Archie. Well, good. Okay, it's getting close. So we want it fully brown, no pink. So let me know when it's fully brown and no pink. And Archie, I agree. I'm sick of ruining my nonstick surfaces. And most of my stuff I use is safe for nonstick. But that one little thing, it isn't. And DS, oh my goodness, DS, what a sight for sore eyes, if I could only see you. So it's a sight for sore eyes on my feed here, though. Welcome, my friend. You have been sorely missed, and I'm so excited to see your name down here on the chat. So good to see you. It is good to have you again. We're making pasta. We are going to be forming homemade orecchiette soon. I think it's ready.
I think it's.
All right, so bring her on over. So yes, what we've done is we've sauteed. We're getting our sauce ready. And we have sauteed onions and garlic. Then we added some ground beef because we're doing ground beef instead of veal. And now that it's browned, we're going to be adding a half cup of a dry white wine. We're going to use Prosecco because that's what we have. And we're going to let it reduce. There we go. So I'm keeping it on high so it can reduce. So and so once this is almost all gone, then we're going to be adding our chicken stock or our chicken broth. So this will be giving us, now if you didn't want to use, or if you didn't have wine, you could always just use extra chicken stock. You could add a little lemon to give a little brightness. You could add just a touch of vinegar, again, to give a little brightness. Lots of options that you have. But we want this to fully reduce before we add our chicken stock. And when we add our chicken stock, we are going to also add the herbs and the capers. So while this is reducing, I'm going to rinse the capers. So let's get our capers here. I think we need, so how about this, Maddie? Since it says we need 2 tablespoons, do you want me to just put in 1 tablespoon? Would that make you a little happier with it?
Sure.
Okay, all right. So let me put 1 in here. I've got my little, I'll get out what looks to be, let me get a little fork. Okay, so let's do this. Oh, this is not going to work so well. Hey, could you come over here and give me your other hand?
Okay.
No, this way. No, come over here.
Well,
Oh, okay. We could have Hubs. Okay,
It's
Hubs
all right.
just. Hubs
We'll
is,
survive.
Hubs is ghosting.
We will
Hubs is ghosting
survive.
us until he's got food ready. He's watching football. There we go. Okay, so we're going to rinse that. So we are rinsing, which makes Maddie real happy. The recipe calls for 2, but I'm gonna like have a truce and only put in 1. And let's check out. Ooh, this looks perfect. And look. Almost all of the liquid has been reduced. Check this out, friends. See? Look, it's almost all gone, and it is ready for our next step. So you stay there. Let me get the chicken stock. And we are going to add 1.5 cups of chicken stock. And you can see all the, got to get that good stuff down there.
yeah, that's one of my issues with the better than bouillon is sometimes it doesn't fully mix.
But the best thing to do, well, I didn't even try with this one, but the thing to do is just use your scraper and just get it in, because then it'll fully mix once it's in the heat.
Yep.
Yeah, so, okay, now we still have it on high, and we are also going to be adding the herbs and capers. So we have our capers here. Let me get the herbs. Let me find those right here, which we had a half teaspoon of rosemary that Matt so lovingly chopped up, and then 1 teaspoon of thyme. There we go. And typically, if you are using dried herbs, you'd use it like 30% of that amount if they're dried. So, and then what's going to happen here is this is going to be reduced just to medium heat for 10 minutes. And then we're going to let this hold like that. We'll eventually turn the heat off until it's time to put the pasta in. So for the meantime, let's put it on medium heat for 10 minutes and let's go about our business of making some pasta. How about that? That sound good? Whoop, don't want that. Want this. 10 minutes. Okay. Now the hard part.
Oh boy.
Now it's Play-Doh time. Okay, let me tidy up a second. So.
I almost want to blow off football and watch
It's gonna probably. It might be more entertaining than the game.
Notice Hubs is staying out of this one.
You know what? I don't blame him.
He'll come back in
At
when
all.
it's time to eat. But what I said at the end of the day, we are going to do our best to make nice looking orecchiette. But at the end of the day, the recipe is the same. The pasta is the same. It might not look pretty, and that's okay, right?
I'm not eating it.
And we won't share it if it doesn't look pretty, because more for us, Matt. It's kind of like when you make the pie and maybe the crust doesn't quite work out. Maybe the crimping doesn't look as nice as you want it to, right? I mean, like that's life. That stuff happens. So I'm going to bring over chairs so that we can,
Yeah, that would be
we're making
great.
a lot of
Yeah.
orecchiette.
I was gonna ask that. 'Cause I
yep.
was like, are we gonna be standing
Yes,
for all
yes.
this?
I'm going to bring the chairs over. So this is going to be yours. And I'm going to be behind the counter. I brought a bunch. So I'm going to sit here. You're going to, because that's a pain, and I'm going to deal with that. That's fine. I'm also going to get the knives. So I'm bringing a bunch of different knives that we can. No, you're sitting here, babe.
Oh.
That's it there. A bunch of different knives for us to try. I also need a place to put them when they're done. So let me just get something here because I just want to get some of this into the sink and out of the way. So I was thinking of, I know what I'm going to do. I was thinking of this, the lid to my cookie sheet that I have, and we can just sprinkle some of the semolina on the bottom. I thought that would be a good thing to put it on.
Yep.
This right here. Prepare for some noise. Oh my goodness. Okay, so DS, do you like orecchiette? And if you do, what do you usually sauce it with? All right, so I'm going to, let me just make sure, get any dust that might be in this.
So I think I'm going to call
Oh.
dibs on this knife to start.
All right. And I need some semolina.
It's a nice smooth edge. There's no serrations. We'll see if it.
And I thought this one might work too. It's thinner.
Yep.
You know.
Well,
That's
this
when
is
I-
like a spatula.
It is spatula. Okay, so I'm just going to.
Also, DS high. Just saying hi to me.
All right. There we go. So we're just putting some of this down, just so it doesn't stick. Although I don't think it will, because it seems pretty hard.
Yeah, it
and
wasn't
I'm
too sticky.
And I'm gonna also get this on. Oh, wrong one. Get our water boiling, just so it's ready for us when we are. Okay. All right. Now let me get our pasta. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to separate it into 4 parts, and we're going to keep the other 2 parts. Actually, I think we'll do 1 part at a time. We'll keep the other 3 parts covered so it doesn't dry out. So let me get this. Okay. It's a nice feeling. I'm going to make it more into a regular shape so I can really try to get half. So that's 1, 2. Yeah, we'll do that. That's what we're going to do. So you have that piece, babe. I have this piece.
And yes, DS, we did go over that earlier, that it does mean little ear.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so can you all, first of all, make sure that, can they see? We're going to start.
They can see.
Yeah, but I think what we'll do, we will get close-up shots once either one of us get the hang, because we will. We're going to get the hang. We're going to get the hang.
Yep.
Then we'll take turns showing each other's technique. So the first thing we need to do is have fun, and we just roll it. We roll it this way.
Okay.
We're going to make a long not strips, long,
Tubes.
well, not tubes, but like worms.
Okay. Yeah. Not the word I would use in the kitchen, but.
I know. It's pretty soft, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be easy. Yeah, it's really. I mean,
Not
I think
sticky.
about like when we did the pizza
I'm gonna
and
take
how
off my rings, by the
sticky.
way.
Yeah, I did that
Yeah.
at the beginning of the stream.
Yeah.
I think about like the pizza stream and
Oh,
how
it was-
sticky that dough was.
that was-
This is like
That was terrible.
night and day difference.
That was terrible.
Very easy to work with. It's quite nice, actually.
Yeah. See, it's like we're getting this whole textural experience, and I don't know. They always say working with your hands, like it's therapeutic. So what I'm going to do, because I'm getting long here, is I'm going to get that one in half and roll that one out longer.
How thin
So
do you think we're aiming for?
she had it pretty thin. So that's why I think it'd be easier, honey, to cut it in half and then try to get it thinner. So right now, by the way, I cannot read the chat because of my eyes, because of the glasses that we just talked about
All right,
that
why
I
don't we
need.
just give you that then?
Oh,
So,
but yours is a little dirty. It's a little dirty. I still can't really read it well. I'm just
How is-
saying.
It's not dirty.
No, our phones are generally dirty. I was just making a general statement. I'm not saying your phone is really dirty.
Oh, I don't know if you noticed, I have my new case on my
Such
phone.
soft dough.
For those in chat that obviously don't know, I had a bit of an incident at the end of last year. Oh, you're really going thin.
Okay, I think this is like what I saw in the video, and it is so soft. Like I'm enamored, and so in doing the rolling, actually continues to get to kind of knead and soften it. So this is what I'm shooting for. So I'll let him catch up.
But yeah, so unfortunately, at the end of last year, I was at a festival, and on the first day of the festival, I was the victim of pickpocketing.
Oh, yeah.
And
Forgot
I
about
had my phone that was only a year old at the time stolen from me.
Yes.
So I mean, luckily through insurance, I didn't have to pay the full price of a new phone, so that certainly helped. But
Not fun.
but yeah, still sucked. And I was rocking my phone without a case for the better part of like the entirety of this month. Which is always a bit nerve wracking. But my case just came in yesterday, so finally have peace of mind there.
I just saw the Herb's comment, Archie. That's hysterical. Okay, so I love it. And Archie, the reason you didn't hear us mentioning it is because
it was before you were on the stream.
ladies were on earlier and
Yeah.
they heard it. So
Yeah,
in any event, so what I saw, and they all did this really fast.
It was
So we're not going to be this fast, but we're going to do as fast as we can. So what they did was they cut off a little piece, like about that big. And that's a little big, but that's okay.
All right.
No. They can,
It's ruined.
they can be different sizes. And then what I saw them do was, and I think they rolled it away from each other. But yeah, they kind of did. Okay, now our first one's not going to necessarily work.
I think I've created a new kind of pasta.
But this kind of worked. I mean, it's because then eventually it kind of goes inside out like so. But for a first try, that wasn't bad. So let's just try to get our technique. So just the main thing, Maddie, is to try to keep it as even as you can.
Damn
okay?
it.
It's just going to take a long time getting all these. And then you kind of flip it inside out. See? Now, they did this in one fell swoop. Like, it was like, they literally went and flicked it. Like, it was unlike
just need to go faster.
anything I've ever seen. But see, you're dragging it against the counter to create that drag. And then, so I don't know how they flipped it in the same thing, but the flipping is what.
I understand it. Oh, boy.
Try this one then. Because that one is working. Then look how, I want to show you all this. Look how rough it is on this side then. I don't know if you can all see the texture. See the texture of that? So it's smooth inside, but the outside, it has all that texture. So pretty
Wait,
happy about
are you
that.
just like... Oh, maybe I was doing it
So let me show you slower what I was doing.
Yeah.
Do you want to use mine and I'll use yours?
No.
Okay.
Don't take my knife.
It's a shame it's dry January because I would like to have some wine while doing this. But so I start kind of here and I'm pushing it away till I get everything. And then it's like this. So then it looks like this, friends. When you do that,
Oh.
it looks like
Okay, I figured it
like
out.
that.
Yeah.
Which could be a shape, but then
So-
we're flipping it on the outside to get that texture.
So
and
I
make it
think what
here.
I was missing is I was starting on the very edge of it.
Yep.
So it was rolling the other way, which I don't think was what we were going for.
And by the way, our sauce is done for at least as far as we want to get to it. So I have turned off the heat and covered it just to let it sit tight until it's time to add the pasta. Because we could be here a while. And by the way, y'all, if y'all want to come back a little bit, but the dough, first of all, is really easy to work with. Like, I'm super excited about that. But when you drag it against your counter or cutting board, that's what creates that texture. And like I was telling you, at the end of the day, it's going to taste good.
I don't know what
These
happened.
might not
I
look
had it.
authentic. This knife is working great. If you want to use my knife, I'm
Maybe I'll try a different
loving.
knife.
Try this
No.
one. Try this one.
No, that's yours. We gotta have some that are decent. Damn it.
No, can I see if I can? Let me just try yours to see if I can get the same
Okay.
technique from it. When I showed him the video earlier, I got the same technique. You can use my knife, hon.
Okay.
When I showed him, he looked at me like I was total crazy. I won't say what the word is. He asked crazy, like that's what we're doing. You think we're going to do that? Is there another way? Those were the.
I'm gonna watch.
So I
Maybe I'm
push
like-
it until it's. I've
Maybe I
lost.
am. Hold on. Maybe I am fine. I think I'm like freaking myself out for no reason.
And by the way, I think any knife would work well. I wouldn't do a sharp knife so you don't cut yourself. It does not need to be sharp. But you're actually pressing it into the counter and then you're flipping it on the outside. Now the pasta grannies are so adept that they do this all in the split second and it's done and they flicked it. Now we are not that way. So my apologies for this part of the stream. This will be a caption that not caption, a timestamp.
Yeah, I was gonna say the
that I'll say-
people that were upset about the stream taking longer.
But look at this one's perfect. Like this one is like.
Actually, I just did a pretty good one too.
Yes, you did. Well done.
All
So
right.
look, friends, look at that. It does work. It's just, a lot of these pasta grannies and anyone else that makes this, they've been making it since they were little.
Yeah, those jerks have way more experience than I do.
But the key is to drag it, and then, since we're not adept at it, and then just flip it inside out. But I'm pretty pleased. Now, I'm going to give a couple of these cut because they did it because they could do it all in one fell swoop. And to be honest with you, it doesn't seem to matter if I start on a flat part or
Yeah.
a tip. It's all good. Now this, by the way, it does make a pound of these, and you could freeze it if you wanted to. We're going to be cooking it fresh, of course. But so, has anyone made the homemade orecchiette? Has anyone? Let's see here. Yes, we use semolina, absolutely. No, I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing y'all. So if you're just joining us, we are right now trying to form orecchiette. We have made the pasta. The pasta was from Mark Vetri's book, Making Pasta or Mastering Pasta. And it's a pasta recipe that only involves 2 ingredients, semolina, flour, and warm water. And it was really easy to mix together. And we let it rest. And now we're making the pasta. And this will take a little time. But I love orecchiette. Like, they're one of my favorite texture ones to use. If you want to use my knife.
No, that one, I kept banging into it.
So I think the longer ones are a little difficult because you don't need the length. I think. And so what we did first, after we mixed the dough and let it rest, we then quartered it, let the other stuff stay, under a damp cloth so it doesn't dry out, and then we rolled our portion into a rope. Rope, that's the word I was looking for, babe.
So, the world record orecchiette making time and
Orecchiette.
quantity, or whatever, shut up, is 510 minutes.
Crazy. That's crazy. I'm pretty happy. I mean, we're not quick, but it's not terrible. Like, I'm quicker than my son, for sure.
Well, you have more years of kitchen experience.
I've
so.
never made orecchiette, so. Okay, so I'm ready for my next half. Not bragging or anything. I'm just teasing. You do kind of
That was a good one.
roll this out to a certain, like a rope, and I'm going to measure so y'all know to make this size orecchiette what we did.
See, I think what keeps me going is every once in a while I'll have one that looks half
Doesn't it
decent.
look so nice on the inside?
And
Yeah.
it's like I feel like a gambling addict that I'm just chasing that next high.
Yep. That's right. That's right.
It's like, oh, surely I'll have another one that looks that good.
But that's impressive, Archie,
Yeah, that's
to find that. That is
wild.
impressive. So some people would be like, why would you spend this long making homemade orecchiette? Well, why would you?
For the memories.
I'm going to get a ruler. So
Ruler?
For me, I just so I know I could, because I don't know. I mean, you're super young. Okay, so these are about a centimeter. It's about a centimeter diameter of the rope. So, and if you're doing the other one, I don't know. It's about a half inch. No, it's not a half inch. It's bigger. It's too big. It's about a third of an inch, maybe 3/8.
Sorry, I'm cracking up at Archie's comments.
What did he say?
He says, so Phil, is this for your dinner Wednesday or Thursday? I'd say Thursday's the safe bet.
Right?
Yeah, we need like one of those, this is going to probably go over a lot of people's heads, but it'll make sense for people in my generation. Reminds me, it's like we need one of those SpongeBob things where it's like 2 hours late.
Yes.
And
so with live streams, unfortunately,
Yeah,
So,
you guys
but-
get to suffer with us.
yeah. Well, and
Strap in.
And honestly, if anyone needs to go and come back, you are more than welcome to. But, and I should have timed when we started this to see how long it took me to do the first, once we get done
See,
this
what your
part.
pace is.
Yeah. I mean, definitely now, what
You
I
guys
also...
see where you rank on the global Orecchiette leaderboard.
that one I
you know?
did not do well, so I'm going to start that one over. But see, you can do that if it doesn't work. So I think the other thing I could do is just try to push and then flip them all afterwards, I could also do that. But literally, what was so cool watching these grannies is the flick. It was floop, flick, or no, it's floop, flick,
Yeah,
floop, flick.
it's worth looking up a video. It's pretty
just to
impressive.
see. And the area in Italy where they're known to do this out on the streets is, I think it's called, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but Bari. And they're out and they make all sorts of pasta, but orecchiette are one of them.
Matt, what inspired you to enjoy cooking more? If you want the honest answer, cost. It's so much cheaper to cook on your own than it is to order out. And I think I realized that pretty quick into college. So, yeah.
And you've really enjoyed
No, and it's
getting
fun.
to know
And-
how
yeah.
to,
And so the other thing is I do think there is some, when you're doing, especially recipes that you're somewhat familiar with, it is like a bit like meditative, because you're just, you kind of know what you're doing,
Yep.
and it's, like you were saying, like you're working with your hands. It's very...
There is something meditative. If I had a glass of wine, and if I was doing this by myself, a glass of wine and some music,
Yep.
So gnocchi are really quick to make, and this is longer. And I wouldn't do this all the time. I mean, I'm not crazy. But I'm anxious to see how good these taste. The last time I did a pasta that was a little more time intensive was the very first pasta I ever made that I told you about, was the tortellini. It wasn't
Yep.
tortellini. And I was a little sad because we gobbled up that tortellini, all the tortellini that I made by hand so fast that I was also like, what? So we'll see how I feel after we gobble this up. But if it's good enough, that is what I think inspires you to do it, is the taste, how it turns out.
If the effort is worth it.
Because what's the one I like to get? Dikeko?
Dikeko?
Yeah, they make their dried orecchiette are very nice. They've got a great texture, and I like everything Dikeko makes, but they're really nice. But there's something about fresh pasta, so I'm really anxious. And my favorite, as I've told y'all, if you're ever in Philly, my favorite place to have pasta ever is at Fiorella, which is Mark Vektry's casual pasta place.
So good.
And they have a simple pasta that just uses sausage and a tomato sauce, and it is to die for. And I would never think I would say that about a simple sauce like that. But that's how good the ingredients that go in the sauce, which is it's actually the recipe of the original butcher shop that is where he now has the restaurant. But also the pasta. His pasta is crazy good. So that was exactly where I was going when I was looking for the recipe for this pasta.
So DS asks, what was your favorite meal growing up in the Philly household? I mean, probably her meatballs. They're pretty damn good.
And I use
Which
that.
also my dad would agree.
Yeah.
I think.
And those are the recipe from.
Have you done this on stream?
Yeah.
okay.
No, I made a video. I made a video of the meatballs.
okay.
So those of you who don't like to watch these long things, video of the meatballs. And it's not a long video. I mean, it's long enough to show how you make it because there's a little bit of a process. But they're also the ones from the New York place. Oh my gosh, I blanked on it, which is just silly. But this is 55 from Rayo's. It's the recipe from Rayo's. So it's literally the recipe they use on their meatballs, and they are my favorite meatball. They are so tender. As good as the vegetarian meatballs were that I made the last time on the stream, one of the last streams we had, obviously it was before the wings, but as good as those were, they, for vegetarian meatballs, they were dense. And the Rayo's meatballs are just so tender, and I don't like it when you get a meatball that is like really dense. I don't know, when I cut into it, I kind of know how I'm going to feel about the meatball. So how you doing? You're catching up to me. You're catching up. Just think, we're halfway done almost.
Yep.
Put that in perspective, right?
Wait, what do you mean halfway?
Because we did 2 pieces.
Huh?
We did half of the dough. There's only.
Wait.
Maddie, did you not see the dough? That's
No,
over there?
I know.
I was excited that we're halfway done. He's like,
Oh,
I actually thought that was a good thing.
I thought I was almost done.
You're funny.
Oh,
You can go hang with your dad watching football.
It's fine.
By the way, and I do apologize, when we were looking at the schedule, he was visiting a friend last night, so it was just going to work better to make this later. But I know here in the States we've got a playoff game going, and that's where Hubs is right now. So he will come out to
that was
taste and
close.
try. But these are really coming along. I got to tell you, I'm pretty, even though I'm not a pasta granny, it's like I'm getting comfortable with it. I'm pretty happy with it. But anyways, I digress. And so we wanted to postpone it, make it later. And so it'll be our dinner instead of our lunch. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Considering I don't usually eat breakfast, I'm kind of glad we didn't do this for lunch stream because I think I would be drooling because I'd be so damn hungry while we were making these.
So how do you think the smell of the sauce is so far?
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be, for a sauce using meat, it's actually kind of a light sauce. It's not doesn't use tomatoes. It's just a very clean sauce, so to speak. We are going to be using copious amounts of Parmesan cheese because,
So
we should.
if we are, halfway through the dough, we might need to do some adjusting on this tray.
Yeah. I think I can handle that. Okay. I can handle that part. All right, so here's our other half of the dough. And, oopsie, sorry for that noise. And I'm going to split this in half. There you go. There's your,
That was bad.
there's your other piece
Son of
that you thought you were done with.
a.
And I'm going to start rolling. Rolling. All right, so let's see what else here. Eat it, you're still with us. all my ladies, I know they probably are taking a nap right now because this is so exciting. But eat it. Thanks for chiming in there. All right. So to me, there's a lesson to be learned in this video. And, again, when I showed Matt the pasta grannies, I thought he was going to say, I regret ever agreeing to do this stream with you, Mom.
What? No.
No.
Why would I
mean,
ever
but
say
you
that?
had, oh yeah, see that right there. He just had this look of, oh,
Horror?
I should have gotten more details before agreeing to this. But
I kind of wish, to some degree, that she would have just sent the video earlier so I could have like mentally prepared. Because like I saw the video like more or less right before she hit the go live button, and I was just like, oh no, what have I gotten myself into? But
Anywho,
it could have been worse. It's not going as horrifically as I was expecting it to go. So.
but to that point though, I just feel like sometimes you just got to try things.
Yep.
And I think one of the reasons I even do live streams, and I've done some crazy things like make paella for the first time in front of y'all, make a lot of my grandma's stuff, because I made some of my grandma's things, but other things I had never made. Like that pork and sauerkraut thing, which that's that's just a cooked thing. But like her 7-year cake that was totally intimidated. Her pecan rolls that I made of recent. Part of the reason I've been doing this is because I'm trying to kind of push myself. And I don't know why I'm the personality that doesn't mind pushing myself and or embarrassing myself if I don't do it well. But I think that's just kind of who I am. But I think we all need to be more of that. I think we all need to be like, why not? Why not make orecchiette? Even though I didn't grow up doing it and I'm not going to be quick like a pasta granny. Yeah, I kind of feel that way. Right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to scooch them a little bit so you will feel better about. There we go. I'm just going to get these all moved a little bit. All right, that should work. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to like stand right in front of the camera, but there we go. All right, there we go. And let's see if I can't believe our pot hasn't even boiled.
Yeah, I was wondering.
It's ridiculous.
I kind of had a moment earlier where I was like, oh my God, we haven't been watching it.
No, I've been listening for
But-
because there's a sound it makes that you can tell. I can't get over that. And they say a watched pot never boils, which is why you don't watch it. And we weren't watching it. There we go. But I think the lesson learned is just try things, right? What's the worst that can happen? And like I said to him, even if our orecchiette are ugly, which we are not going to win any orecchiette awards today, my friends, they're going to taste just as good as someone else's orecchiette, right?
Yep.
I mean, Vetri is not going to lead us down a path that's not going to result in yummy food. There we go. So Archie, and actually everyone, so where you live, do you have some restaurant weeks? I know they have them in New York City, so DS, and it's funny because for locals, there's a lot of opinions about restaurant weeks. So a lot of locals avoid restaurant weeks because they
tourists?
feel like, well, not just because of tourists, but they feel like the food is subpar. So Hubs and I have found that to be the case occasionally, but more often than not, we have found that Restaurant Week is a good time to either try a place just to get an idea of its vibe, everything like that. So Restaurant Week, basically, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's restaurants that agree to have a menu that's available. It's a price fixed menu. It's for $45 American dollars, and it includes 3 courses, but some include.
Oh, is it specifically that price?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
But
don't think
some
I realized
include
that.
more courses. And so one of the places we go to.
Oh, so that's kind of where they differentiate it.
Yes, so one of the places, so you can always look at the menus and see what you're getting before you go. And I always look for the best bang for the buck, which you would not expect any less from Philly. But one of my favorite places to go to that we go to every time, and we go to and pay normal prices, is a place called Amada, which I showed pictures from last night. Amada is by Jose Garces. It's a Spanish tapas restaurant. And we were thinking about you, actually. We had so much food. I did not show all the pictures. There were so many small plates. You got to pick 2 of one kind of small plate, which included, by the way, the salad and the olives. So that was 2. I got to pick 2. And then Hubs picked 2 other ones, right? And then you got to pick 2 of the other size tapas, which include like the chicken and oh my gosh, we had this delicious sirloin. I couldn't believe it was just sirloin. It was so tender and flavorful, perfectly cooked. And so in all, we had 8 plates that came our way before dessert. And then we each got a dessert. So that is not typical of most of the restaurants
Yep.
in Philly, but Amada is the place to do it. Now, you don't get to order off their whole menu. That is the drawback. But if you've never been to Amada and you want to try it, they have wonderful selections. They are delicious. They have some of their most popular dishes included in the selections, like the potatoes bravas. Hubs decided, I said, can we just each get one of those? Because we used to always share the potatoes bravas, which comes in 5, and that makes a problem, right? Who gets the 5th one? I guess we could split it, but then it kind of falls apart. And so he loves them so much too. He's like, yeah, like I'll get one too. So we had 10 little potatoes bravas in there. Matt, you would love those. So yeah, what do you guys feel like about restaurant weeks in your city if they have them? So it was per person. So for me, I had 4 tapas and a dessert. And you saw the sizes of those. So 4 and a dessert. And then Hubs had 4 and a dessert. So like we had 10 things between the both of us. We were full. And also because nothing is huge. The salad was pretty big. But, you're eating it paced and it's filling. But yeah, so just to clarify, Arch, it was 4 plus a dessert for $45. And if you look at the prices, you can't beat that because, I think the olives normally are $8, but everything else is, mostly between 12 and 20. So it's a great deal. It's a great deal. It was delicious. And that little flatbread we had was so delicious. Everything was good. But not that you want to spend that, but if you want to go with your foodie friends, you would actually, there's so many things you would like there. There's a lot of meat. He loves meat. And there's a lot of meat choices. The potato bravas you would absolutely, absolutely love. I know you wouldn't get the olives.
Yeah. I'll pass on.
And you probably wouldn't get the salad either. There we go. How you doing? You sound a little
kicking.
frustrated. Let me see.
Well, every once in a while we'll get one that
It
just
is almost boiling. It should be
totally
boiling in a minute.
fails, and I'm just like.
But
So
yes, I do know. I saw real quick on Instagram that New York was having one or soon, or maybe it passed. So I just was wondering if you and Ruby did that ever. If you ever did that, go ahead.
So I can't help but notice that yours seem to have a lot more curvature. How are you doing that?
So okay, well I'll just show you what I'm doing. So I'm dragging and then
I think it's more in the process after.
So then after I stick my finger in there.
Oh. Okay.
By the way, Mark Vetri, I loved he made a very approachable style to Orecchiette, but I knew I wanted to do it like the pasta granny, so he was just going to say roll it out like you roll out pasta dough and then cut like with a melon ball or all these little circles and then form them into the Orecchiette. And you wouldn't get the texture, which is why I didn't want to do that. And frankly, I didn't think it would save us any time because I thought, first, I don't have a melon baller. And I'm like, what are we going to use to even cut them that small,
Yep.
So, like I said, it kind of becomes this burrito or taco.
That
and then
part
and then
I got.
And then
It
I
was
flip
just
it.
how you were.
Yeah, I might just flip it a little more aggressively than you are.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
So I cannot wait to be on my last piece of dough. So how's everyone's week looking ahead? And Diaz, how are you feeling, my friend? Let's see here. And eat it. What city you're going to be in this week? Because I know you were in Philly the other day and was telling Hubs about the restaurant you mentioned, which I forget now. He actually had eaten there. And he's like, yeah, because they actually have really good steaks there too.
Oh, boiling.
It is boiling. So I'm going to turn that off and that'll come up super quick. There we go. Morimoto's. I'm positive it is. I'm thinking of a different restaurant. I'll have to get back with you on that, DS. So I'm trying to think if that was the place. I think yes, I think we do have a Morimoto's. I think, or it's another one I'm thinking of, but I think it is Morimoto's. And that was actually a place that Hubs and I went with my sister and her husband and my cousin and his wife some years ago. And if I'm almost positive it was that place. And I will have to say, because that's before we moved to the city, that's what we would do. We would all meet in the city and go to different restaurants and try different places for special. And I think that place, it's not that the food disappointed me. It's not that, although there's a comment about that. It's just that I felt like for the price, I was disappointed, if that makes sense. Because it was very pricey there, and I didn't know that I felt it was worth it. I remember because I think it was Morimoto's where we went there, and one of the things I got as my entree was duck, and I will say the duck was phenomenal, and the duck was priced well for what I got and for how delicious it was. So the duck was not my complaint. But I feel like with a lot of what some other people at the table got, because there were 6 of us, I think not everyone was as impressed. And so yeah, and in fact, one thing I remember specifically, and this is even before we started getting our sushi at Tuna Bar, there was a couple other sushi places in New Jersey that we really liked, is we got some sashimi for the table, and it was good. There was nothing wrong with it. Like, let me be clear, there was nothing wrong with it. But again, I just felt like I've had maybe a little fresher tasting, or maybe more interestingly prepared, if that makes sense. So, so at least the one in Philly, see, I can tell this is getting dry. It feels different. This last rope. I should have kept it under the, what do you call it thing? I mean, it'll be fine, but, so yeah, so I'm almost positive that's the one that we went to that we just haven't returned because we just felt like for the price, it didn't wow us, right? And there's so many choices, and you know this where you are too. There's so many choices in the big city.
Yep.
So if a place isn't like making you sing, you're probably not going back there. You're probably trying a different place. And I'm glad you're doing better every day. We have very much missed you. And Edith said Philly was good, great weather. I know, wasn't yesterday great? We walked to dinner, walked home. That's like my best. That's my favorite thing about living in the city. There'll be mostly Jersey and New York City on Thursday. Yay!
Wow.
I'm glad you had good food. What did you have that was tasty there, Edith? Because I can pass along to Hubs, because I think he's eaten there before for like business lunches and things. And you have a question from DS. He said, Matt, who has your favorite steak and cheese in Philly? Also a question
Steak
from
and
Matt.
cheese.
Do you mean like a cheesesteak?
Yeah. If we're talking cheesesteak, probably on South Street. It's still on South Street. The new
Yeah,
location?
but they haven't opened.
Oh, they still
They
haven't
still
opened
haven't
back
opened
up.
yet. Yeah.
So my favorite location was
Gyms.
Jim's. So the issue is that they had a fire.
It's been a while now.
Yeah, so they had to,
Close.
close and, fix a lot of the damage. That was a result of that. But they have my favorite one in the city.
They're really good.
Yep.
And that's probably mine, because we still have not tried Del Sandro's, which the 3 of us need to get over to Del Sandro's.
Yep. Well, and
Sure.
the thing that's nice about, or that was nice while it was open about Jim's is right across the street, there was a bar called Milk Boy. And they had a bit of a deal going on
That's
with Jim's where you could order cheesesteaks at Milk Boy
Yeah.
from Jim's. And they would literally run them across the street to
That
bring.
cool?
Yeah, it was like this song and dance. And what was great is if you've been to Jim's, one of the downsides is depending on what day of the week you're going.
Or time.
Yeah, or time. It can get pretty crowded. So
Long
you're just kind of
lines, yeah.
sitting in line. Whereas if you go to Milk Boy, you can sit down, you can have a
beer,
drink,
yeah.
and then, wow, someone brought me my cheesesteak.
He's not wrong. That is a nice perk.
if you're going to go, like, whenever it opens back up, if you're in Philly and you're going to gyms, go to Milk, assuming they're still doing the thing.
Yeah, true. Check that first.
Go to Milk Boy, because then you can sit down, have a drink, and not be standing in the line waiting for a cheesesteak.
So I'm going to come bring the camera and show you making it up close,
Oh,
and
boy.
then we'll trade. That
No
sound
pressure.
good? It's not meant to be pressure. It's meant to show real life, real mom and son doing their best to make some orecchiette. No pressure. I sense a little anxiety here.
Just a little bit.
You shouldn't. You don't need to feel anxious about it. I'm going to actually cover mine with a little damp towel just because I'm amazed at how much it has dried out.
I feel like
That's
once you
why-
roll it out, though, it kind of, it's
helps,
just the
yeah.
outside that gets dried out.
So now we're going to show you the up close and personal, and I'll make sure and put this in the timestamps.
So something
to
that I'm
show.
noticing on my work area here is I'm getting some of that dough that's kind of collecting here, and it's
causing issues.
So, maybe do it more down there.
Yeah.
I haven't found that to be true on mine.
Maybe it's just I'm too aggressive, but
Okay. So I'm going to try to get
oh,
up and show
see,
it to
and
you.
then there we go. So
Well, then
we'll
why don't you sit
restart.
at my seat and do it?
nope, it's fine.
Just so, because,
I'm fine.
okay. So he pushes and look, and yeah, and then he flips the other, see that? He flips on the other side. Yep. And there you go. That works. Let me show you all these, and I'll come back over to him. Look at all the orecchiette we have made. Look at that. So excited. Now he's flipping it. Okay, I'm going to show one more. And so I don't know if we each have a little bit of different, what's the word I want to use? Technique, but
Workflow.
at least show you what we're doing. So pushing it away. And see, he's kind of quick. I'm a little slower, but
Yeah, but I feel like I have a higher fail rate on that. So sometimes I'll do it and it'll like
that
get
had really
caught.
Good, but that had really good texture.
Yep.
Show the texture. Let's get a little closer at that. Look at
I don't know
that
if that'll come
texture.
up on
Yeah,
camera,
it is. Look at that texture. That's really cool. Okay. We'll finish up these three and then we'll switch.
See,
Yeah.
so that's the risk you run when you're trying to do it faster. Is sometimes it'll get caught up.
But the good news is you can just roll it
Yep,
back
no,
up.
yeah,
That's
it's-
what I love is that, and again, these pasta grannies do it all in one fell swoop. I don't know how they do it. It's just totally crazy to me. Okay, so do these two more. Well done. Look at you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And I do think what makes this dough work is the kind of dough it is, just the semolina and the water. I think other doughs would be too tender. This needs its texture to kind of help it. Well done. Excellent, excellent. All right. So I'm going to trade
So
you.
okay.
And Edith said she had the steak frites. Ooh, that's good to know, because Andy had said he thought the steak there was really good. And so good. And, oh, thanks, Barb. That's awesome. And I had the field green salad that had chopped grapes in it. Oh, delicious. Were they roasted grapes or raw grapes? I've had some roasted grapes lately in things.
Geno's and Pat's is a tourist trap, in my opinion.
Yeah. And if you have to do Geno's or Pat's, I think Pat's is better because we have done Pat's.
But I
But it
think
is a
you don't
big
need to.
tourist
Yeah,
trap.
you're gonna wait so long for, honestly, in my opinion, you can often get a better cheesesteak at like a food cart in the city.
And there's, I mean, really, you can get the cheesesteaks in so many different places in the city. But I do, for us, and also, you know what, you'll find different people will say, it's just like all foods, it's subjective, like
Yeah, it's
where their
preference, I
favorites
guess,
are. But I really do I like Jim's. But I've heard amazing things from D'Alessandro's, so I'm anxious to try it. So it's just really about pushing it slowly or quick. I mean, obviously the pasta grannies do quick. I'm just going to leave those here. And then flipping it. And you do sometimes have to push your finger a little bit just to kind of get that curve. But honestly, I feel like, I know we're not fast, but I feel like we got the hang of it quicker than I thought we would. You want to put that back and we'll
That way I
finish
don't
up?
fall too far behind.
Yeah.
So I think it was just DS that sent a message asking favorite cheese on it. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Cheese Whiz guy. If not Cheese Whiz, American. Just
Yeah.
because
Same.
American's gonna melt better.
It
Because
just makes this yumminess with the steak.
Yep. But if I had to choose like an actual like cheese, because American cheese is a cheese product, probably like a provolone.
Right, I would agree. Because I love mozzarella's pole, but it doesn't have a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
The provolone at least
Yeah,
has
yeah.
some flavor.
Yep.
And there's another famous sandwich here in Philly. It's a roast pork sandwich. John's Roast Pork is one of the places. Tony Luke's also has it, although he has some financial issues right now. But they, on roast pork, it's the aged provolone
Yep.
that you get on it. But yes, and you know, at the end of the day, it's funny. People get in wars about this stuff, not real wars, but like just they get all like hot about what should be on the cheesesteaks. I feel like what's a little more iconic, that one didn't work. What's a little more iconic is the cheese product. And I would say don't knock it till you try it, because there's some little magic that happens with the beef, the cheese, whether it's American cheese or the Cheese Whiz, and how it all comes. Look at our Orecchiette, babe. Are you not entertained? That's like his favorite movie. Look at them. What do you think, Hubs? Oh my gosh, he gets none. We will eat this whole pound of pasta ourselves. Is that all you have to say is, huh?
I mean, what else is he gonna say?
No, I would be like, that is awesome.
It is awesome.
No, that is not what you thought. You get no pasta. I'm going to be the, say, no pasta for you.
I was hoping I was done.
Me too.
So when you have a wife that cooks, what not to say?
Can we just-
Hubs is here to help everyone see what not to say.
Can we just get like a box of rigatoni and just fire it up?
And remember,
Stream would be over.
I do not have a glass of wine in me right now, so it's falling on a very sober wife that is a little annoyed now
Would
that
you like me to
Hubs
get
saying
you a
that.
glass of
No, I don't want to have a glass of wine.
Why?
On
I
Thursday,
would like a glass of wine.
he
No,
should.
DS.
Thursday I can have wine because we've been trying to do dry January.
Oh, that's
I've
right.
done
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
damp. I haven't quite done total dry all the time.
Yeah, I very much did not do dry January yesterday. I'll tell you that much.
I'm sure you didn't. But there is some Pinot Noir if you'd like some with the pasta. The Pinot Noir I think would go very, very
Yep.
nice with it. But we're almost done with it too. And I'm so proud of your dad for doing damp January with me. I thought that was, I did not ask him to, and he just did, which
So
kudos to you. I can give you a compliment even though
you'll
you
have
can't give us a
to
compliment.
let me know what damp January. Damn, I just messed up two in a row.
It means
It
Just
means
like trying
you're-
to have less?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
more mindful.
Okay.
Like you didn't have it during the week.
I don't. I've lost it. All of my.
It's this. It's the texture on there, babe.
I've failed.
Don't you think part of it is also probably?
that's not horrible.
It's not. It's not atrocious.
I'll finish for you. Will you turn on that and get that boiling?
Whew. Okay. Yeah.
And also, will you turn the pasta sauce on two? Turn pasta sauce on
There.
two.
Oh, there is a two.
What kind of pasta sauce you have?
It's Maddie. You want to tell him?
I don't remember. So there you go.
You all should feel sorry for me. No, it's Orecchiette with beef. I forget how the title goes. It's a sauce from Fruit and Wine. Beef, garlic, and wine.
should probably finish this.
Or I know. Oh, beef capers and wine. It originally called for veal, but we're not doing veal. Can you roll that back in a circle for me? I just think it's getting dried out. I think you want to keep your pasta
Yeah, that's probably part
as
of it.
moist. I think that's why yeah, this one did it too. I
Can I eat
think,
one raw? Or?
please don't.
It wouldn't taste that good.
Yeah, it's not like dried pasta. I do think it's the dryness. So what I would suggest is keep everything covered with the towel. Kind of
Yeah.
annoying. We're open all night, friends.
All right.
Okay, so you have both on?
Yep.
That's good. Okay. So Hubs, what you could do is you could get the lettuce out of the the fridge because I have my tomatoes marinating. I've told you guys I do this. I'll cut up tomatoes, add some seasoning, some vinegar. I used balsamic today. I was kind of thinking put that over by the salad over there, sweetie. And olive oil, and then that way you can just put it on top of your salad and you're good to go. It kind of like makes this awesome dressing.
Those are really good.
Thank you. All right. All right. Well, here we go. So I'm going to bring this.
That is so much.
I'm going to bring you over to this. What I would love for you to do is if you could use the bench scraper to get this off and then wipe it with our washcloth, that would be wonderful. So if you could do that, that would be great. And then I'm going to move this out of the way and show everyone our tray of Orecchiette that I'm so excited about. Hubs, would you, before you pour that, would you please put the other chair back here in the middle? That would be wonderful. It's right where Maddie is.
Right here.
Okay, friends, here we go. Look. Look at all this. Oh my gosh. Look at all that. Made by the hands of my youngest and Philly, and there we go. I'm so excited about that. All right, so now it's time to get cooking. And our water is boiling. And it's salted. I salted it quite aggressively.
How are we going to?
I will do it. Can you? I'm going to have you, once we get this in boiling, I'm going to have you bring it over to show the tossing of the sauce when we get to that. We're going to use the spider to get it in there.
Tossing of the sauce.
I'm going to make sure these are all not sticking. There we
You having
go.
a good time, Matt? Is it fun?
Yeah,
Is it stressful?
a little bit.
But you did great.
Yeah.
You did great. Did it turn out better than you expected?
It turned out about as I expected.
Really?
I'll say that.
Oh, I think you did awesome. I'm going to actually put this on here. It'll be easier for it to kind of scoop down than from here. So I'm just going
But
to.
did you get the hang of it after a while?
Yeah, you kind of get the technique.
You definitely got the technique.
Not like the lady on the video
Yeah,
was
who was
doing.
doing like 30 every like 3 seconds. You know?
All right. So want to bring it over, babe? Because this is all going to happen pretty fast.
All right.
Mom made it, sound so easy.
Okay.
Watching that lady do it.
I was very truthful about everything. Will you give me some more ice water, please? And you should stick around because we're going to be eating soon. And then here, we want these will be done when they are all rising. So those are going, and let's see how our sauce is doing. There we go. Let's see. Get that back up, a little more aggressive. Oh, we need to, I just realized, you know what we need to do? We need to grate the Parmesan. So would you do me a favor and put that back and grate the Parmesan for me while I tend to this? That would be so wonderful. I'll get you set up. We need a half cup, but that's only a suggestion, because a half cup that definitely needs to go in. You can have extra for us to sprinkle on top.
Whoops.
And I need a cheese tax. I have a cheese tax too. Oh, that wasn't much tax.
Well,
So I'm getting my pasta back up to a boil.
One more.
I'm going to be needing
Bigger one.
2 tablespoons of butter that I'm going to be putting on there as well. I'm also going to be
I
needing.
gotta go. You'll live.
I'm also going to be needing some fresh parsley. I have frozen parsley because that's what I do. Okay. So this is all going. I also want to taste this sauce before I do anything else, see how that's going. Let me see, get a little spoon. How are we doing the cheese?
take a look.
Wonderful.
That good?
Yeah, so if you want to add, I would add some more just for sprinkling because you know how
Yep.
everyone likes cheese. So I'm going to just test this for flavor. Ooh. You know what's good about it? Is it's just lighter. It's a lighter, that was the other sauce I was going to ask you if you wanted me to do for your birthday was I think that's good, by the way. I'll take that. I actually use my finger to swipe the inside.
That seems dangerous.
No, the inside's not sharp. The inside is not sharp.
Okay.
It's not sharp. I was going to ask if you wanted what are the meat sauce called?
The normal meat, like a
Not
bolognese?
ragu, bolognese.
Yeah.
I was going to say if you wanted me to do a bolognese. Because he's kind of funny on the whole like tomato pieces being in his sauce. And
that's
bolognese,
it's another texture
yeah.
thing.
But bolognese only has tomato paste.
Well, I don't like just tomatoes. I won't put like
But
a
you
tomato.
like flavor.
No, I'm saying like
Right.
I don't like tomatoes in their raw like I won't put like a tomato slice on a burger or something. I'm just not a fan. So
Okay, so getting this in there. I thought the flavor seemed good. Thought it seemed spot on.
how's the pasta?
It's starting to float, not quite all floating yet.
Okay.
I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. We want everybody up and happy. And I'm going to get our salad put together real quick while I'm waiting for the pasta to float. And I'm going to put this cheese back here. And I'll have you, when it's time to put everything together, I'm going to have you get the camera and
yep.
bring it over. So anyways, you showed my tomatoes. This is just my tomatoes I've been marinating that I like to do. I wish I had fresh basil, speaking of herbs that we're talking about. And this is one of our favorite lettuces, although that one doesn't look as pretty. There we go. That is hydroponic, or whatever the heck it's called. Hydroponic, I think it's grown not in soil. So the good news about that is it leaves it less likely to have some of the salmonella and other issues.
Yeah,
that a lot of
DS.
the-
That it is. I actually make an effort too to try to find like real Parmesan and not just Americanized.
Yes.
Because there is quite a difference.
And I think that's kind of what we were saying is there's a time and place for everything, right? So for me, like real Parmigiano Reggiano
Yep.
is for this. But then on a cheesesteak, I think some processed cheese
Yeah.
just is like quite nice. So I'm just going to put these around and I'm going to pour the rest of the dressing on and then we will be good to go. I might put a little bit of cheese on it because, why not? How does my pasta look back there, babe?
Floaty.
I'll also put a little garlic in here, by the way.
It looks floaty.
Looks ready? Okay. I think you should taste one and see how it tastes.
That'll be hot.
What's that?
Nothing.
Yep. It'll be hot, but that's what we do as cooks. We test the limits. There you go, babe. Right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Oh, you got the camera and everything.
Well, you said. It's hot.
Wow.
You know what? I don't have her hands, so I'm gonna wait. Nope, it's fine.
Okay. So it's delicious. It's very different than the dried pasta, which makes sense. It, to me, is more reminiscent of a spätzle.
Yeah.
Even though there's no egg
Oh
in there.
well, I mean the texture is different. To be fair.
No, but I mean,
But it's heartier.
it's heartier, and but it's not eggy because we don't
Yep.
have egg in there.
Yep.
Very yummy.
No, it's tasty.
Okay, so now we're going to get this kind of going up.
This look pretty good.
See that?
Yeah.
And put that in the sauce. Get all these lucky guys out. Our homemade orecchiette. I'm not missing any of them.
We
Yes.
spent too long.
Okay, they're all out. They are
Spent
all
too
out.
long to leave any of those in.
And
But
then let's
I'll
kind of toss
turn off
this.
the-
Oh, thank you, babe. Toss that, and then we're going to toss in the cheese, the butter, and the parsley. So let me get these initially tossed. So it's going to be a nice, again, not a heavy sauce,
Yep.
brothy kind of sauce. Let me put the parsley in first because the cheese can kind of seize. So let me get my frozen parsley. Again, you can just label this in your freezer. a little freshness in there. I'm going to get the butter. Got 1 pat butter there. 1 pat of butter there. How bad can that be? I'm going to turn down my heat a little bit. Switching my spoons up. And get that cheese in, get a bunch of that cheese in. There we go. Oops, missing some beef. Beef is flying off. There we are. And that's all she wrote. And we told your father to stay close, and he did not.
It'll be fine.
Okay, look at that. And see, look, it thickened up.
Yep.
That's the brothy sauce. Like it's the brothy sauce. That's a specific name, brothy sauce. All right, so let me get a trivet to put this on. And let's get over there.
All right, I'll go grab them.
Mm-hmm. Put it on here. Put this there. Got our excellent. All right, bring this over. There we go. And we're going to put another little sprinkle of cheese.
Cooks pretty quick, huh?
That's
Yeah.
what we said. Yep, I'm going to put another little sprinkle of some parsley. Because that parsley, I thought
They
was
turned
enough.
out really
but
well.
that really,
Oh, it's not
Y'all-
a red sauce, okay.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
there we go. And y'all can get
Need it.
forks over there.
I mean,
yeah, it was right.
yes, that's.
You
one
guys
of
can
those
get
double
forks.
negatives.
You guys can all get forks over there.
We're just eating it straight out of there?
We're going to go right here.
We're just digging in?
We're just digging in.
All right.
Oh. There you go.
Oh, thank you.
Move this out of the way.
Get one that
I'm going
actually.
to try to get a little bit of everything. Okay.
Okay, I guess I'll try to get.
You have a whole side of a pan for you there, babe, and yet you're going. Okay.
All right.
Ready?
Ready?
Oh, that's delicious.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Wow.
What do you think of the pasta? Oh, that's so good.
Go ahead.
Ooh, hot.
Yep, a little hot, but very tasty.
It's just super light. Like it's not, you know what I mean? It's not heavy. It's brothy sauce. It's a great sauce for it. I mean, any sauce would be good on this. Traditionally with Orecchiette. So we're going to stop there because then we're going to plate up
No, I just
for
wanted to-
dinner.
Tried
He's
just
just-
one of the noodles. Well, he hasn't tried one of the
Oh,
noodles.
you haven't
on
just tried
some.
noodles.
You can tell they're like
I'm used
they're a
to-
bit heartier than
I'm
like
used
a
to
normal
him just
Orecchiette.
like eating all of the takeout, try or buy before we even finish. So I'm just teasing you. So I'm going to get this all pretty and nice. There we go. So friends, that was delicious. And high five. I'm so proud of you.
It turned out well.
And thank you for doing it with me.
Yep, no problem.
I appreciate
Yep.
it. Well,
Nice job.
Barbara, Eugenia, Archie, Edith, DS, oh, am I forgetting anybody else? Thank you so much for coming on stream. And anyone watching from afar, thank you for, you know, not chiming in here, for popping in here to see this craziness that we were doing today. If we can make homemade Orecchiette, you can make it too. The recipes and links are below for everything we did today. I'll include the pepperoni short.
Yep.
The rest
Definitely
I'll be
check
doing,
that
I'll
one
be doing
out.
for his birthday in a few weeks. And happy Sunday and go football teams. I have to put a shout out to my friend DJ Puck for Detroit's team later tonight. We're hoping for a Detroit win. After that, you know, whoever may be, but we are really rooting for Detroit here. But have a wonderful week. Thank you for popping in. And until real quick, nothing is on the schedule yet. It's the end of the month, so I'll be dropping my schedule later this week. And so we'll see what happens in February, although we know that I did promise to do one of Chef Archie's pies. So that will be on the schedule
boy.
somewhere. So until we eat again, have a wonderful week. Thank you all for coming to our kitchen. Have a great one, friends.